Okay, dear students, let's continue our lesson. So it's our second lesson for today.
May I continue, teacher?
Yes, you may.
Oh.
No. Dear students,
I
I think Diana has read
yes.
here
I haven't
essay.
finished it.
So we have to make an analysis. Zioda, would you
Yes.
like to make an analysis on Diana's essay?
Okay. Teacher, could you give me a permission to demonstrate?
Okay, just a minute. Now you have a.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Of course. Он 5% гапқа Diana. Yeah. Teacher, may I do my analysis by myself or students must do it?
So your group mates
We
should.
must find cause, effects, enumeration, conjunction.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fine then.
you are right, Uldana.
May I start with the cause?
Yes.
The main cause of this.
Sorry, Baljan, but we had a Zioda make an
Okay.
analysis.
Okay.
Say. So Zioda, are you ready? Is she with us? Zioda? So I see we have lost the.
Maybe Baljan can.
Yeah, I see we have lost the connection with Zioda. So Baljan.
Yes.
Here the main problem is about obesity, and the main cause of obesity is here the two factors. There are behavior and genetics. It's the main
Yes.
cause of obesity.
Yes, you're right.
And I find enumeration in this essay. Obesity is it's the chronic medical disease.
Ultana also has a problem with your connection.
Yes, I think so.
In the third paragraph, in last sentence, it's the enumeration.
Yes, you're right. But there are so many enumerations in this essay.
Yes, for example, behaviors
Yes,
can
and
include
for the hierarchy
activity,
no.
dietary
Yes.
patterns, medication use,
Yes.
and other exposures.
Yes,
Yes, you're right.
it's also enumeration.
Paragraph has enumeration.
Types of cancers.
So
So,
Baljan, did you mark it? Did you mark what are the cause and effects of this essay?
Baljan maybe can't.
It's Diana's essay. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that it is Diana's
Yes,
essay. That
she talked about it.
Yes, I
can-
found out them, but I can't.
okay, Diana,
I
was she right?
Highlight.
Yes,
Yes.
teacher. The main causes are behavior and genetics
Okay, thanks a lot.
of obesity.
So I think we are finished with this essay, yes?
Yes.
yes.
Okay, thanks a lot. So you may switch off your demonstration. Let's continue.
Can I start, teacher?
So, dear students, I would like to demonstrate a video. Okay, Nabat, I will demonstrate it after you. Now, please continue.
So the theme is the cause and effects of smoking among students. Smoking is one of the most dangerous widespread phenomena. Teacher, what do you do? Ақылбек Қайрат Бекұлы.
Just give me a moment.
Okay.
Now you can demonstrate your screen. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
The theme is the cause and effects of smoking among students. Smoking is one of the most dangerous widespread phenomena that threatens the lives of a huge number of people worldwide. It starts as a way of having fun, but ends as an addiction that is therefore so difficult to give up. Today we often hear of smoking among students. So why do students smoke and what are the effects that smoking has on them? There are many reasons behind the phenomenon of smoking among students. To start with, students smoke because they are curious and want to discover the world of those who smoke. They are just trying to have some fun when they smoke the first cigarette. Other students take up smoking due to their family problems, especially when they see their parents having quarrels. Moreover, some students smoke since they think a cigarette would relieve stress they had during the day, especially at school. Last but not least, students try to imitate adult smokers because they want to show that they are adults too. If we look at the consequences of smoking, we will find so many. Smoking causes cancer. As a result, the addicted students would suffer from health problems that end in death. Another effect is that after certain years, the addict would develop respiratory problems and will face a lot of problems in running without losing breath. So, asthma, bronchitis, and emphysema are always a lingering threat. One more important effect of smoking is that it causes a lot of anger for the addict. Whenever they light cigarettes, they start reacting angrily and strangely. To sum up, smoking is an ongoing threatening danger for addicts and might affect the next generation. The best solution is prevention, according to the proverb that says prevention is better than cure.
Mhm. Okay, thanks a lot. Now, who would like to make an analysis? Who would like to analyze this essay?
May I?
May I?
Diana?
May I try?
So here, causes like students smoke because they are curious and want to discover the world of those who smoke. And they are just trying to have some fun when they smoke the first cigarettes. And this is the first cause of smoking. And the next is students take up smoking due to the family problems, especially when they see parents having quarrels. And also some students smoke since they think a cigarette would relieve stress. And the last cause is students try to imitate adult smokers because they want to show that they are adults too.
Yeah.
And its effect, smoking is these students wouldn't suffer from health problems that end in death. And one more important for the addict, whenever they lack
Aldana, I see your internet
He has
connection
bad
is not
condition.
active as you are.
Can I add something?
Yeah, Baljan.
We can take the second paragraph, whole second paragraph as the cause, I think, And the third paragraph is the effects of this. And also this essay was written in a body structure.
Yes, body structure.
Yes.
Okay, thanks a
So
lot.
here some enumerations like asthma, bronchitis, and
Yes.
emphysema.
Enumeration with conjunction with and.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe.
Okay, thanks a lot, dear students. Tashkanbayeva, Imambek Asel. So switch on your cameras.
Yes, I switch on.
Okay, okay, let's go back to our lesson. So dear students, I would like you to demonstrate a video which was taken from YouTube channel. So the video is connected with essay writing and it gives you some rephrasing tips when you are writing essay, when you have such kind of scene. So why the purpose of this video? For the question why I'm going to give you to watch that video is that after the end of the video, I'll give you one sim for essay writing in a classroom as a classroom activity. So you have to use the tip that is given in the video. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, teacher. Yes, but
But what?
Girls.
Hi there, my name is Emma, and in today's video, I'm going to teach you something very important for if you're taking any type of test that has a writing component. So if you are taking the IELTS, the
Teacher, we
TOEFL,
can't hear exactly.
So you can't hear?
No, it's not clear for us.
yes, not clear.
Maybe because of your internet connections.
No, teacher.
Our internet connection is okay.
even just a university test. It can be any type of test, but if you're asked to write something like an essay or a paragraph, this video is for you, okay? So I'm going to teach you a very important skill that will help improve your marks when it comes to writing on tests. So let's get started. So I have here an essay question. This question is actually, I've seen it on the IELTS. You know, you have similar types of questions on the TOEFL, sometimes in university. The question is this: education is the single most important factor in the development of a country. Do you agree or disagree? Or maybe to what extent do you agree or disagree? So this is an example of a question you might be asked. Now, a problem a lot of students have is in their answer to this question. They see this and they think, okay, education is the most important factor in the development of a country. Yes, I agree. So then or I disagree, and they start writing. And what do they write? Usually the very first thing students will write is this: I agree that education is the single most important factor in the development of a country because. So what is the problem with this? Is there any problem to start off your essay with something like this, or to start off your answer? There's a big problem. So I want you to take a moment and think, what could be the problem with starting your essay off with this sentence? Okay, well, if you noticed, you have here the word education. Education is the single most important factor. If you notice, these are the same. They're the exact same, except for I agree that and because. The student here has used the exact same wording that is in the question. So if you do this on the IELTS, and many students do this, same with on the TOEFL, you actually will lose marks. And same within university, because you're not showing your abilities, you're just copying what somebody else has said or what the essay question is. So in this video, I'm going to show you, first off, I'm going to tell you, don't do this, don't copy. And I'm going to teach you ways in order to improve yourself and your answer by changing this wording. How can you change your introduction so it's different than what the question is? Okay, so let's look at how to make these changes. Okay, so what we are going to do in order to change the question into a proper answer that doesn't just copy the question is we are going to paraphrase. So the word here is paraphrase. This might be a new word for you. What does it mean to paraphrase something? Well, when we paraphrase, it means we take a sentence that, we take somebody else's sentence and we change it into our own words, okay? So we change the words of a sentence. We also change maybe the sentence structure, but we keep all the same meaning, okay? So the meaning from the sentence you copy, it stays the same meaning, but different words and different sentence structure, okay? So it's in your words, but this other person's meaning. So we are going to paraphrase this example of a question into our own words. And so first we're going to look at how to do that using vocabulary and synonyms. So we have here the same question. Education is the single most important factor in the development of a country. How can we put this into new words or our own words that keep the same meaning? Well, we can use synonyms. So this might be a new word for you too, a synonym. Synonyms are words that have the same meaning but are different words. So for example, big and large, they have the same meaning, just like huge, enormous. These are synonyms of each other, same meaning, but they're different words. So you need to use different synonyms so you don't just copy these words. You use synonyms to have words that have the same meaning but are different words. So let's look at an example. Our first word here is education. What's another word we can use instead of education?
Okay, now try to give us synonym of this word.
Schooling.
Knowledge.
Schooling?
Schooling.
Or maybe knowledge.
Knowledge. Okay, let's continue.
Well, there's different words we can use. Maybe one could be schooling. Okay, so we could change this word to schooling. Schooling is the single most important factor in the development of a country. What's another word we can change? Well, maybe most important. Instead of using the word most important, maybe we could use most significant or most essential. Okay, so essential, significant. There are many words you can use, but the point here is find a word that has the same meaning, but is a different word. Okay, here's another word, factor. Can you think of another word for factor? Well, sometimes factor, it can be an aspect or an element, okay? You can even say sometimes a significant role, okay, or a part. So there's different words we can use that have similar meanings. In terms of the word development, we can change the word development to advancement, progression, evolution, okay? And in terms of the word country, another word for country is nation, okay? So these are all synonyms, and this is what you want to do. When you look at the question, think about some new words you can use that have the same meaning. This is also important throughout your essay, because one problem a lot of students have is they keep using the same word again and again and again in every sentence. This does not help you with your marks. It's better to use different words that have the same meaning.
So, dear students, what was the main tip in essay writing?
First, we should paraphrase the theme.
Paraphrase the theme.
Yes.
When you are writing a topic according one definite sim. Do not use the same words again and again in your essay. Try to give it with
Synonyms.
okay.
Yes, with synonyms.
Same time, you have to be careful here because some students they find a new word, they think it's a great word, but there is a little bit of a difference in meaning. So you need to be really comfortable with the word you choose, and you need to know what it actually means so it doesn't sound strange. Okay, so if we wanted to change this now, instead of saying education is the single most important factor in the development of a country, our paraphrase, our first step in our paraphrase could be changing these words to schooling is the single most significant element in the advancement of a nation. Okay, so that's just one example. So now let's look at another thing you can do in order to paraphrase the question on a test or exam. Okay, another way we can paraphrase is by changing.
Okay, dear students, but we have to be careful with paraphrasing. Why? Can you give me the reason why we have to be careful with paraphrasing?
Because the words that we choose may have different meaning from the.
So, Balzan, you are quite close to the right answer. Even when we are giving a synonyms of the words in a sentence, we have to be careful with what?
With its usage.
No.
Maybe
The word may be
meaning,
different.
with meaning. These words mean.
With the meaning of the not word, not word.
All sentence maybe, all
Sentence.
story.
Full sentence.
Sentence.
Yes.
Full sentence, maybe.
Meaning of the
Of
sentence.
the whole sentence. We have to be careful with the meaning of the whole sentence. While we are paraphrasing, we have to care about not to change or to have a different meaning in the result.
The structure of the sentence. To paraphrase the question on a test or exam. Okay, another way we can paraphrase is by changing the structure of the sentence. So for example, you might.
So now the students, in the first tip, our lady gave us a hint to paraphrase the words. And another tip is try to change the structure of the sentence. Yeah. Okay.
Might have a verb and which is an action, and you might change that into its noun form. So for example, if your verb is developing, you might change that into development.
Now, dear students, I think it's clear to you to change the structure of the sentence. So now I'm going to give you an example. The doctor said me that it would be better to me to walk around or to have a walk.
We must change paraphrase, yes?
But not changing the meaning of my sentence. The doctor said to me that I have to walk. Or, yeah, I have to walk. Try to change the structure of the sentence. The doctor said to me, I have to walk. Or,
maybe like according to doctor.
The doctor said me save my health.
But here we have lost the meaning. We put
Yes, we must about walk, yes?
Yeah. To walk. The doctor, so the doctor advised me.
Step by step.
No, not step by step.
According to doctor, I must walk.
The doctor advised me to do
To
walking.
walk?
No.
Teacher, maybe a specialist said I need to walking.
Yeah, to do walking. Walking.
I
is a
need to do
gerund,
walking, yes.
As
I
a
need to.
gerund, yes. The name of the action, yes.
Yes.
Here plays the role of the noun. So from to walk, from the verb that denotes an action, we transfer it into a noun by adding ing, walking. Okay, now continue watching.
You might change, similarly, a noun into a verb, okay? So for example, we just said development is the noun. It can turn into develop or developing. You can also change things into adjectives. So if, for example, you're talking about technology, which is a noun, you could change this into the adjective form, which is technological. So changing the form of the word can help you with paraphrasing. Also changing the placement of the words can help you out. So for example, in our original sentence, or the question was, education is the single most important factor in the development of a country. So I've now changed some of the wording as well as the order. Okay, so here education is at the beginning. In my sentence, the most essential element of a nation's development is education. I've changed the order of the sentence. So now education is at the end instead of at the beginning. I've also started out with the most essential as my beginning, whereas here it was in the middle. You'll also notice we have here in the development of a country, I've changed this to nation's development. I could also change this to country's development instead of the development of a country. So changing the order of the sentence and changing some of the structures can really help you in terms of paraphrasing. Now let's learn one other way in which we can improve our marks by paraphrasing. Okay, so the last tip I have about paraphrasing a question is using concessions. So what is a concession? Well, I want you to look at what the question actually says and my new answer to it. The question, again, same question as before. Education is the single most important factor in the development of a country. My answer, okay, so I've changed some words and I've also changed the structure a bit, but there's one other thing I've added. Although many would argue that the economy is the most important factor in nation building, I think education has a far greater impact. So what I've done here is I've added a concession. A concession is where you say what the opposite opinion is, and then you say what your opinion is. So you're giving two opinions. You're giving your opinion and also what other people might think. This is a great thing to do, especially in essays, and this is something you can do at the beginning of your answer. So we use here the keyword although, okay? And you'll notice that this has two clauses. I don't want to get too technical with grammar on you today, but what I mean is, if you see we have the red part, although many would argue that the economy is the most important factor in nation building, and then we have a second part. So we have two parts to this sentence. I think education has a far greater impact. So the first part of the sentence is in red, and it's the although part. And the second part of the sentence is in purple, okay? And that's, I think education has a far greater impact. And they're separated by a comma. So a concession has two parts to it. You say what the other people think first. In this case, although many meaning people, we could also say many people, although many would argue that the economy is the most important factor in nation building. Okay, so this is what some people would say. Now I'm going to say what I think. I think education has a far greater impact. So why is this a good idea? Well, one reason is because when you write a concession, when you're showing what the opposite opinion of yours is, you're showing that you've thought about the issue, okay? You're looking at both sides. You're not just looking at your opinion, you're looking at both sides, and then you're making a judgment. So this shows that you're thinking about the question and you're really giving it some thought. And by representing both sides, you're really showing critical thinking. So this is a very good idea to do. Okay, so the three things we've talked about today in terms of paraphrasing the question is changing the words using synonyms. We've talked about changing the sentence structure. And we've also talked about adding the other perspective using concessions, okay? So these are three things you can do in order to change the question so you're not just copying what is on your test paper. Again, great thing to do if you're writing a high school essay, university essay, TOEFL, IELTS, CELPIP, all of these things, this skill will really come in handy for you. Now you might be wondering, okay, this is great, but I don't know any synonyms, or I don't know much about this. Well, what you can do is you can come check out our website at www.ingvid.com. There you can find.
Okay, so we have finished it. So the video has come to the end. Okay, dear students, so let me demonstrate you the themes of our
Essays?
essay. Just give me a minute. Okay. So choose yourselves
Okay.
on which to work. But don't choose the essays that we have taken already.
Okay.
Teacher, how many topics we can choose?
Just choose one.
Only one topic.
Choose one of them.
Just one of them.
Everyone works for themselves.
Can a
Could you repeat,
computer
please?
replace
I
a
didn't get.
teacher?
Could you repeat? I didn't get, please.
Maybe 12 one.
12.
12.
Scientists have noted
Maybe
an
15.
alarming increase of the heart and circulation among people who smoke.
No, 15 maybe. Or 4.
Or 15.
15. I think 15. We have worked on 15s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe 7. The effects had improved technologies in communication.
Okay, let's take the 7s. The
Okay.
effects that have improved technology in communication. Yeah, it's a little bit do have a connection with our cause and effect essay writing, yes?
Yes.
So let's take the effects that have improved technology in communication. Now use the tips of our teacher from English speaking country. Paraphrase, change the structure, and